A little bit of algebra shows that if the actual um, margin of price over marginal cost equals the optimal margin of price over marginal cost, then price will equal marginal cost times the absolute value of the price elastic demand divided by the difference between the absolute value and 1. Let's do an example. Suppose the absolute value of price elasticity is 2 and marginal cost is 20. That means the optimal price will equal 20 times 2 divided by 2 minus 1, which is 40 over 1, which is 40. Whenever the absolute value of price elasticity is 2, the optimal price is simply twice the marginal cost. The optimal price increases when consumers become less responsive to changes in price or when marginal cost increases. Let's make that number 1 and number 2. Consumers become less responsive to changes in price when, I'll call it A, the availability of close substitutes decreases, and also the extent to which the good is a complement for other goods increases. Consumers become less responsive to changes in price when the availability of close substitutes decreases, because that makes not buying the product more difficult for consumers who want what it provides. It's not easy to switch to a substitute. Being complementary to more goods and services makes not buying the firm's product more difficult for people who want to consume the other goods and services. Microsoft Windows might be a good example, or somebody who lives in the iWorld and wants to keep their iPhone because it's already connected to so many other devices sold by Apple. The availability of close substitutes decreases as the definition of the market broadens and as the firm's product becomes more distinct from its competitors, and finally, as advertising stresses the distinct nature of the product. As you define the product more broadly, you go from, say, Coca-Cola to cola drinks to soft drinks to beverages. The availability of substitutes decreases because it's harder to switch from beverages to something else to drink than it is to switch from Coca-Cola to another substitute. Coke and Pepsi are pretty close substitutes. I don't know that beverages and orange juice are as close. Frobe says that the brand price elasticity is approximately equal to the industry price elasticity, the broader, more broadly defined market, divided by the market share of the particular brand we're talking about. Suppose we know, for example, that the demand or the price elasticity for cola drinks is be pretty small. Maybe cola drinks is 0.5, and we know that Coca-Cola has 10% of that market. 10%, that'd be 0.5 divided by 0.1, which is 5. Yeah. So if Coca-Cola is has a market share of 10% in the broader market, and the broader market has an elasticity of 0.5, then Coca-Cola would have an elasticity itself of 5. Optimal price decreases when, number 1, consumers become more responsive to changes in price, or 2, marginal cost decreases. They become more responsive as the availability of close substitutes increases, the extent to which the good is a complement for other goods decreases, A third thing that's sort of related to this is advertising. Advertising that stresses pricing usually attracts consumers who are more sensitive to price and thereby decreases the optimal markup. The availability of close substitutes increases as the definition of the market narrows and as the firm's product becomes less distinct from its competitors. What happens to the optimal price when fixed costs change? Absolutely nothing. The optimal price formula considers price elasticity and marginal cost. Fixed costs in and of themselves determine whether profit's high or low, but they do not play a direct role in pricing. Finally, why do commissions on dollar sales fail to align perfectly with the interest of owners and salespeople? I'll start with a statement. Total revenue is maximized whenever the absolute value of price elasticity is equal to 1. If marginal cost is greater than 0, and the margin of price of a marginal cost is equal to that magic optimal amount, we can show pretty quickly that the absolute value of E has got to be greater than 1. We have a conflict. Profit maximization, you want to be with the absolute value of E greater than 1. If you want to maximize total revenue, you want absolute value of E to equal 1. We say that demand is elastic whenever the absolute value of E is greater than 1. So if you're maximizing profit, you want to be operating in an elastic portion of your demand curve. Well, here's the problem the salesperson faces, or here's the problem that you face if you let salespeople set price. If the absolute value of E is greater than 1, we know that a decrease in price will make total revenue increase. So the salesperson is always going to want to cut price below the price to maximize the profit. The salesperson will want to sell more than the quantity that maximizes profit. Maximizing profit also maximizes total revenue only when marginal cost equals 0. That might be true for a digital product, perhaps, but for most, that's a very rare setting. Moral of the story: do not give salespeople both commissions based on dollar sales and decision rights to set price. Let's go back and look at the example we worked in the preface. We start with a price of 10, absolute value of elasticity 1.5, and marginal cost is 6. Initially, we had a price of 10. Suppose price is reduced to $9. That's a 10% decrease in price if we use 10 as the base, which means quantity rise by 15%. 15% of 1,000 is 150. So the new quantity is going to be 1150, which gives me a new total revenue of 10350. So a salesperson working commission is happy. He's going to the bank with another $350 of sales, and whatever his commission on that, he's getting his bonus check or his commission check. He's a happy camper. Well, as you increase quantity by 150, your cost is going to rise by 900. So the new total cost is going to be $11,000, and the new profit is now going to be minus 650. So while this reduction in price made total revenue go up, it made profit go down. The salesperson working commission is happy, but the owners are sad.